A powerful Iraqi militia, Kataeb Hezbollah, has warned the United States to stay away from Iran. The Times of Israel reported that one Kataeb Hezbollah commander told AFP that the armed group has told its fighters to prepare for the scenario of a long war in neighboring Iran should the United States launch strikes. He further said that U.S. would face immense losses in the region if it attacks Iran. Kataeb Hezbollah commander also said that his group is highly likely to intervene in case of U.S. strikes. In a statement, the commander said that his group sees Iran as strategic to its own interests, and therefore any attack on the Islamic Republic directly threatens us. He further added that this time, if the United States attacks Iran, especially to remove the government, their fighters will respond much more aggressively than before. Kataeb Hezbollah is an Iran-aligned Shiite militia group based in Iraq, founded around 2007 during the American occupation. It has close ties with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and is also part of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, PMFC, which opposes United States military presence in Iraq. The U.S. has designated it as a terrorist group. It is known for rocket and drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria. Previously, it had fought against the ISIS alongside the Iraqi forces. The warning marks a sharp escalation in tensions between Iran-aligned groups and the United States. Analysts fear the crisis could quickly spiral into a multi-front conflict across the Middle East. Remember, the United States has faced scores of attacks from pro-Iran militia groups in Iraq in the past. The attacks recently escalated when Israel waged war on Gaza, but have ceased for now. A key claim made by U.S. President Donald Trump about Iran's missile capabilities is facing serious scrutiny from within the intelligence community. In his State of the Union address this week, Trump warned that Iran was working on missiles that could soon reach the United States, a statement that raised the stakes in already tense relations with Tehran.
They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
But according to multiple sources familiar with classified assessments, U.S. intelligence does not back that timeline. Officials say there have been no changes to a 2025 unclassified assessment by the Defense Intelligence Agency, which concluded that Iran could take until 2035 to develop a militarily viable intercontinental ballistic missile. That assessment is based on Iran's current space launch vehicle technology, which analysts say would require significant adaptation before it could serve as a reliable ICBM platform.
They're trying to achieve intercontinental ballistic missiles. For example, you've seen them try to launch the satellites into space. You've seen them increasing the range of the missiles they have now. And clearly they are headed in the pathway to one day being able to develop weapons that could reach the continental U.S. They already possess weapons that could reach much of Europe, already now, as we speak. And the ranges continue to grow every single year exponentially, which is amazing to me. For a country that's facing sanctions, whose economy is in tatters, whose people are suffering, and somehow they still find the money to invest in missiles of greater and greater capacity every year. This is an unsustainable threat.
In other words, intelligence agencies believe Iran remains years away from fielding a missile capable of striking the U.S. homeland. One source added that even if China or North Korea, both of which have cooperated with Iran in the past, were to provide technological assistance, it would likely still take up to 8 years at the earliest to produce an operational ICBM-level system. The sources, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of intelligence matters, said they were unaware of any existing assessments indicating that Iran is on the verge of deploying such a missile. They did not rule out the possibility of new classified information, but stressed that no publicly known report supports the claim of an imminent threat to the continental United States. The White House declined to comment on the discrepancy. The controversy adds a new dimension to Trump's broader case for potential military action against the Islamic Republic. By presenting Iran's missile development as an urgent and near-term danger, the president appeared to frame the threat in immediate terms. However, if intelligence projections remain unchanged, the timeline may be far longer than suggested. The issue now becomes one of credibility and consequence. When presidential warnings about national security threats diverge from intelligence assessments, lawmakers and allies alike take notice.
For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protesters. 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon.
As tensions with Iran continue to simmer, clarity over capabilities and timelines could shape decisions that carry global implications. For now, the intelligence community's assessment appears clear. Iran's path to an operational ICBM capable of reaching the United States is measured in years, not months, and that distinction could prove critical in the debate over what comes next.